What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by your favorite b-ballin' person and mine, myself. Man, what a great intro. This is the top quality introduction that you come to listen to when you listen to a b-ballin' commentary, as this is a matchup from the Defense 3 losers bracket, and I'm going to be solo casting this matchup forever alone. But actually, I solo cast this match for a reason, because I do want to talk about other things in the life of b-ballin', but we're already right into the picks and bans. This is between Navi and Gamer University, and this is the losers bracket. And as always, if you want to catch other versions of this VOD, check out twitch.tv/TobyWanDota or youtube.com/joindota. And yeah, this is the losers bracket, and you can see Navi does not have first pick, so they're going to ban out the Bauer to Meal, GU going to ban out the Keeper of the Light. So we'll see GU probably going to ban out something like the Nyx, or the Darkseer, or the Undying, something like that. Or maybe in the Wisp. But yeah, this is the losers bracket. If you have not watched the Navi vs 3D Max tiebreaker, check it out. It's on Lunas' channel. He did a co-cast with Eternal Envy. It was pretty crazy. If you have not already seen that, then I recommend you mute it for a couple seconds because I will spoil it very, very soon. Basically, 3D Max rolled in the early to mid stage of the game, and then Navi relied on their team fight to get back in it. But at that point, they're already barracks down and lost a lot of their buildings. So 3D Max backdoored it with Wisp and Chaos Knight, and Navi did not have any response. So Navi got sent to the losers bracket, and 3D Max got sent to the winners bracket. Now, a lot of criticism has taken place over Navi recently, saying, oh, they're not taking anything too seriously, they're not practicing, Dendy's been on vacation, and to be fair, they probably haven't been practicing because Dendy has been on vacation, or really practicing that much, but I have full faith in Navi. You know, they've gone through some of these mini-slumps before, and they've always turned around. I think the last mini-slump they went through, they won Starladder Season 4 right after that. So I really have no worries about Navi. Even if they don't perform that well in some of these other leagues like Raid Called Dota 2 League, or even if they don't win the Defense 3, you know, you have faith that they will eventually right the ship. They are just too good of players and have too good synergy and just have so much experience together that you can really count on them to overcome most obstacles. Meanwhile, GU Peru has definitely been an upstart in this scene, as the picks and bans are actually flying through very, very quickly. I'll talk about them in just a bit. But yeah, GU Peru, if you have not read the Team Liquid article on just the Defense 3 Plus, I recommend it. It is on teamliquid.com. GU Peru had a relatively even group. They managed to get past this Turtle Masters and managed to take a spot in the loser bracket. But so far, they are down 0-1. They experimented with the Juggernaut strategy in game number 1 against Navi and got promptly crushed. So yeah, we'll see if they can turn it around. But after the pick ban phase is done, I'm just going to pause to talk a little bit about the life of b-ball and stuff like that. So yeah, but I think right now I should be analyzing the picks and bans a little bit. So because GU had the first pick, they're going to pick up Darkseer, and Navi going to respond with Magnus, Wisp, and then GU picks up Brewmaster and Rubik, so of course reverse polarity can definitely be a factor. If Rubik managed to steal Tether, that would also be really strong. Rubik does shut down a lot of Navi's options. I mean, Navi does sometimes like to use Enigma, but usually Puppey plays Wisp, and Puppey is the primary Enigma player for Navi. But whoever plays the Magnus, whether it be Dendy or Light of Heaven, will have to be careful to make sure Rubik never has a chance to steal the reverse polarity, otherwise the team fight could go very sour, because GU does have a pretty solid team fight on their own side. They have Darkseer, who's pretty much a walking team fight set up by himself. They have Brewmaster, who is very, very strong in team fights, to say the least. And yeah, they have Rubik, who always can steal spells. So far, Navi seems to be favoring a bit more of an early game aggression strat. Of course, with the Wisp, you always tend to do that. And I think this is going to be a farming gyrocopter rather than a support gyrocopter. Pretty much only no talent to like to really consistently run that support gyrocopter. So for Navi, we have their support, we have their carry for Havos probably, unless they go mid-soul with the gyrocopter. Their lap is pretty versatile at this point. It could be mid-soul, Magnus could be offlane hero, but GU is just going to ban out a lot of Puppey's trademark heroes, whether it be Shadow Demon, Shen, or Enigma, get rid of some of the jungling presence, and sort of force Wisp into tri-laning it up. Where I've mentioned in previous casts that I'm not a huge fan of Wisp tri-laning, but Navi might not have too many options. Interestingly enough, no Chaos Knight has yet been picked, so Navi could have an opening to do the Chaos Knight Wisp combination in middle lane. And Brewmaster, you know, one of those heroes who's pretty difficult to bring down, but Chaos Knight Wisp pretty much crushes any lane that they go up against. Meanwhile, Navi knows that Darkseer is going to be long lane, Brewmaster most likely going to be mid, Rubik most likely going to be bottom, although he could roam mid. So they're banning out hard carries that could give them a lot of problems, especially carries who are mobile in the form of anti-mages that can farm a lot, or really tanky carries that just make their team fight a little less effective because they can survive a lot of the initial barrage of nukes and all that jazz. So I imagine GU probably thinking about picking their carry. They might pick up their secondary support. We'll just check out what secondary supports is still left in the pool. Jakiro, Disruptor, two of the most notable secondary supports are still left in the pool. That's pretty much it as far as trademark secondary supports. Of course, Leshak is in there, and that's what GU is going to pick up, so it gives them a bit of pushing power, gives them some nice AoE team fight. Of course, Leshak does need to be up close and personal, and I do prefer farming Leshak, as Na'Vi going to pick up Tiny, who is probably, all said and done, the hardest carry in the game once he gets fully maxed out. And it's also perhaps a counter to a Phantom Lancer that might be picked up by GU, just saying, we don't want to play against Phantom Lancer, so we're going to pick up Tiny, who does very well against PL, all things considered. So we'll just get PL out of the picture regardless. And PL has been fading out recently. He's only really been successful with Kato on his team, and Kato was first banned by GU. And GU going to respond with Luna, and meanwhile, Na'Vi going to pick up Empire's trademark hero in the form of Bane. And it is going to be ars-art playing that Bane. So after these picks all go through, I will just pause the game, talk a little bit about the life of b-ball and stuff like that. Because, you know, there's a couple things to talk about, and then I promise I won't bore you too much, like I'm already doing right now. And then I'll go back in the game, and hopefully analyze this, and hopefully GU can bring it to a third match, because, you know, it's nice to see lesser-known teams sort of thrive, and that's really what the defense has done a nice job. And keep in mind, the lesser teams have been involved in some of the most epic games, whether it be Sen Hunters versus GU, Sen Hunters versus EG, GU versus some other team, I forget, Turtle Masters, etc., etc. These lesser-known teams have been involved in very, very spectacular games. But yeah, pausing the game just to talk a little bit about the life of b-ball. It is February, and that means I have done one video for a month for 31 days. That is impressive by my part, because I have never had that consistency. I'm just going to feel myself right here, give myself a nice pat on the back. That actually kind of hurts. Except not really. So, you might be wondering, hey b-ball, if you did one video a day for a month, you know, are you going to stop it right now? And really, I don't think I should. Like, the reception has been pretty positive for the most part. I've been getting more views, more subs for the most part. People like the consistency. What I'm a little bit upset about is that I've only been doing casts, so I'm going to try to diversify sort of what I go into. And of course I'm going to bring you Dota 2 casts, but GEST, the last GEST of this particular season, keep in mind GEST is being renewed for the next season for Dota and Dota 2, is coming up this weekend. Today is February 1st, and tomorrow is GEST February 2nd and 3rd. So I'm going to bring you some matchups from that, maybe with SGG. And yeah, there's just, in fact, there might actually be more Dota content in general going on my channel, so hopefully you guys can spread the word and keep on supporting me while I keep doing what I do. But yeah, hopefully I can diversify some of my options. I'll probably try to do bulk of my recording of casts on the weekend, so I might not be able to cover as many epic games. Because for the most part, the games I cover for this month, I always make sure I picked and chose carefully. Because there are a lot of great games being played, but I wanted to choose the best games. But unfortunately, since I'll probably record most of my games on the weekend when I don't have school, you know, I might have to suffer in terms of overall game quality. But hopefully, games will be played that are really, really good regardless. But yeah, I'm going to do more Dota 2 casts, probably some more Dota 1 casts mixed in there as well, GST, and stuff like that. Those always have pretty good receptions for the most part. And, you know, people constantly spam me, more Dota 1, please. And so, sort of as a fitting send-off to Dota 1, I'll do some more GEST casts. Not really a send-off, because it's still very active. It's still being renewed for Season 2. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bring you other content. I know you guys have asked me for a long time, what about the back guide, what about the back guide? And it's actually all my fault, because I promised it to you guys, but I don't know if it's actually going to get finished. I mean, I finished most of it, but Lumi is doing his guides, and he says he's going to do his back guide regardless, so I was like, do I really want to do a back guide if Lumi's already going to do one? And, you know, it just really just fell on the back burner as school and other things decided to pile up. So, yeah, it really, it's on the back seat for now, but I don't know. If I get enough positive reception, then hopefully I can finish it one of these days when I have a bit more free time. Keep in mind, casting is easier. You can just go into a game, especially replay cast. Just go into a game whenever you want, cast a game for an hour, and then just sort of go back to doing whatever you want. But guides take a lot more work. That's why you gotta respect people like Lumi and other people like that who do guides, because those definitely take a lot more work because of editing and stuff like that. But yeah, I might try to do more variety of content, whether it be, it might not all be Dota. I mean, most of it, probably 95% of it will be Dota. I'm thinking about trying other games, but really, I don't really have any time whatsoever outside of Dota in school. And tournament news, I might be casting some weekly tournament, a small weekly tournament. I'll let you guys know more details on the Facebook. If you guys have not tuned my stream, I pretty much stream every night, although I might stop streaming Dota 2 for a little bit because I'm getting a little bit tired of that. But I do stream every night on twitch.tv/bballin773. And yeah, so more bballin content in the near future. My god, you guys are going to get sick of me super fast. And I'm going to get sick of you guys. Just kidding, I can never get sick of you. But yeah, that's pretty much all the bballin news in the pipeline. So basically, more content, hopefully a bit more variety in terms of content, and yeah. And I'm starting to take this a bit more seriously, just trying to see how I can juggle Dota and life a bit more effectively. And you know, being a partner allows me to do that. Unfortunately, I don't know how much I'm making. Even if I made like $10, I'd still probably keep doing this. Although at this regular pace, I'm not too sure. But yeah, people also asked if they can donate. I've never asked for donations. I never will sort of ask that very frequently. But if you do want to donate, the best way is just to turn off ad block. But there is a donation page on my YouTube channel, but whatever. Nobody cares about that. I don't honestly care about that either. Let's get into the game. I've bored you long enough. So again, this is game number 2, Navi and GU Peru. Keep in mind, GU does have 3 squads. They have a GU American squad, GU Peru squad, and a GU EU squad. Man, so many U's. Not enough time. And Navi, of course, been a bit of a slump, but hopefully they can turn it back around. And I have full confidence that they will turn it back around. But anyway, we'll introduce the players and teams. We're going to have Misko playing that Rubik, Smash is going to be playing the Brewmaster, Mihawk is playing the Darkseer, Masoku is playing the Leshrac, and Evo is playing the Luna. I think the last time I casted you, Mihawk was stand-in, but I guess he might be brought on as a 6th member, or maybe he's just able to play a bit more consistently. Meanwhile on Navi, we have Puppy playing Wisp. He's been playing this a lot more recently these days. It's been pretty solid for the most part. Havos is playing the Tiny, Dendy's playing the Gyrocopter, Light of Heaven's playing the Magnus, and ars-art is playing the Bane. So we'll just check out the items really fast. I mean, you know Dendy is going to be mid-soloing with that Gyrocopter now because it is Dendy playing it. Light of Heaven, Dendy not setting up for fast bottle. Gyrocopter really doesn't need bottle too much. I mean, he wants the man to spam the Rocket Barrage, but he can sort of manage pretty fine. Of course, the best way for Gyrocopter to control the lane is with the flag hand, so he can farm fast, he can harass people from 1,000 range. It's pretty ridiculous the amount of damage Gyrocopter can do in mid-lane capacity. Of course, the problem with Gyrocopter is that he's not that good in the mid-game, but he's strong early game and strong late game, and overall a very, very dependable hero these days, it seems like. You know, Light of Heaven is offlaning with that Magnus, as GU is going to probably put one more person down in the bottom lane, but as it is, Luna will be able to farm very, very well against Magnus, but won't be able to keep the Magnus back, as GU is playing super far back, but there is actually a very aggressive Sentry Ward being placed by the Dire already. Nice Warden placement, as here comes Misko, and ars-art does pick up Invisibility Rune. GU do know that ars-art did pick up the rune, so Smash is playing super aggressive. I don't imagine Smash will actually die. Keep in mind, Bane L1 doesn't actually do too much damage, even though Gyrocopter does do a lot, and I'm glad to see GU has been that mid lane strategy. They want to keep Magnus back, and as it is, Magnus might hit level 2 very, very soon. Meanwhile, Darkseer is just going to jungle up. We see it's often these days, wait for Darkseer to pick up at least 2 points of Surge, where he can sort of survive these engagements where you might be lifted up in the air, might be stunned for a bit of time after the Surge has been baited out. Keep in mind, level 2 Surge does have an increased duration of 1.5 more seconds, which can make all the difference as Bane finally does reveal himself. Here comes a Missile, and nice Nightmare combination. Rocket Barrage, not going to be casted by Dendy. He did not actually skill, instead skilled the Flag Hand for a bit of creep equilibrium, but here comes Surge by Mihawk, going to save the life of Smash. Smash won't yet have the bottle, so it's going to be a bit annoying for him, but maybe Darkseer can allow him to steal one of the creeps. But Dendy already forced to pop a salad, Dendy out of mana, and keep in mind, Smash does know that Dendy does not have any points of Rocket Barrage, so Smash can actually play a tiny bit more aggressive. As I imagine Dendy will go back into Rocket Barrage very, very soon. probably just got 1 point to missile just to hopefully set up first blood gank with ars-art. But after that, he'll probably just go back into Rocket Barrage and Flat Cannon. Rocket Barrage is just too good in the early game in terms of damage. But as it is, Panda just having a miserable time. Finally does have his bottle on the way. Mihawk just going to farm up probably until level 4 or level 5, and then he'll go to the top lane. Provide a bit of harassment to Hvost. Hvost doesn't really get affected by Darkseer as much because Darkseer is not physical damage, he's mostly magical damage. And Tiny does have overall a pretty solid base mana pool. But you never really want Tiny to free farm. He's probably the best late game hero when all is said and done with all the items fully stacked. Of course, it does take him longer than most carries to get there, but still, he is very, very deadly. As there's going to be a wraparound gank, Dandy isn't going to be in a lot of trouble. Here comes a Fable. Nightmare going to be casted onto Smash, but Mihawk's Surge is up. Can he get the right click? He will get Dandy for the first blood as Misko rotate from the bottom lane match, pick up the kill. And the Dire Courier died as well. The Navi Weasel managed to die. Super unfortunate, as now Navi actually takes a pretty significant loss in that exchange. Let's look at this. 2,500 Navi fans watching this game. 0 GU, but that's because GU doesn't have a flag or anything like that. Keep in mind, GU is a relatively unknown team. And actually, I'm a bit surprised to see that no more penance have been implemented just yet by Valve, but I'm sure as the teams start to be a bit more stable, we'll see more and more penance. And since Mihawk is now almost level 4, he can get that second point of surge and will be a bit more safe, as he's just going to Ion Shell it up. I don't know if he actually got much experience from that. He's almost level 4, just going to do another pull. He finished his soul range, so he should be relatively safe. Keep in mind, Tiny does have 2 casts, and with Tiny, of course, one of the best friends forever combination, although I think Wisp Chaos Knight might be a little bit more deadly, at least in the early game phase. But Wisp Tiny allows Tiny just to farm uncontrollably once he gets the Aghanim Scepter. So Wisp Tiny is better late game, but Wisp Chaos Knight is much better early game because of that Reality Rift combination. But Darkseer Mihawk will hit level 4. Will he get a point of vacuum? Gets that second point of surge to allow him a bit more survivability. Don't think he can survive against all the nukes thrown down by Hvost and Puppy, but still, better be safe than sorry. Get that point of surge. Allow him to potentially escape very dangerous situations. That is the point of surge in the offlane. Meanwhile, Light of Heaven has been kept back a little bit. You can see only level 3.5, but there is a Dire Ward spouting out the positioning of the Radiant heroes for the most part. And Masoku only level 2. Leshrac support, I'm not the biggest fan, but it works. I mean, you push with Leshrac, you get the stuns. You don't really need too many items. Of course, I'm a big fan of being as selfish as possible with any hero and just try to take the farm, get a BKB, just sort of run in, saying, what are you going to do about it? As looks like Darkseer is going to get slept on the top lane. Here comes Puppy, but Hvost is not in position. They're just going to stun off Mihawk for a bit. ars-art is level 3, so he has that level 2. Brain Sap is going to save for the last possible instant and does manage to pick up the kill. Nicely done by the dual supports. And that means that Hvost can continue to farm without even having to sort of be in there. And he hits level 6 very, very quickly, so that could be a lot of trouble for GU very early on. Considering Hvost will pick up that Hand of Mice not only to accelerate his experience growth, but also accelerate his farm. Keep in mind, highly experienced dependent, or Tiny once he gets a lot of experience, pretty much just gets his nukes going a lot faster when everybody has probably around 400, 500, 600 HP. Allows him to one-shot anybody on the map for the most part, aside from the Brew. As it's going to be a wraparound gank for Light of Heaven, he is going to die in a matter of instants. So Light of Heaven is going to pay similarly to that Tiny picking up the kill, or similar to that Darkseer dying as well, so the offlanes both going to exchange a death right there. And the Navi Courier just respawns, so Dendi will finally have access to his bottle when all is said and done. And that did actually delay Hvost minus for a lot of... So that Courier kill actually made a pretty big difference for GU. Allows him to potentially slow a lot of Navi's item progressions, as Dendi's going to get clapped and going to get ultimated, as Dendi is most assuredly going to die right here. Will he get denied by the Nightmare? He is going to die to that Windwalk Panda, as ars-art probably going to survive, going to get cycled back into the air. I don't think Panda, once he respawns, will have enough mana to spam that Thunderclap, but here comes Leshrac, the stun. Just a little bit mistimed, but I don't honestly think that would have made a difference, except maybe get ars-art to at least burn a Brain Sap on getting some heal. Meanwhile, Hvost finds a wild Mihawk in the woods, saying, "This is my jungle, you are not allowed here anymore." As Wisp and Tiny able to pick up a kill very, very easily, and here comes rotation up top by Misko. Navi Puppy is going to be a lot of trouble. Keep in mind, Smash has full HP, full mana, and invisibility rune, Puppy's gonna die in a matter of instants, and here comes pressure up top for Vos, who's very, very low in terms of HP. Edict is popped, but Vos is actually gonna die. Nice rotation by GU for the most part, or so far in the early game. Even though Tiny managed to pick up a very fast minus and getting a very fast level 7 minutes in the game. Super fast farm by Havost. The rotation by GU support, especially by Misko, has been really top notch, keeping down and keeping out the pressure on everybody on Navi. And Navi, you can see, don't have any wards on the map so far. And a lot of that might be attributed to the courier. A lot of that might be to the fact that Bane not only in the right position at the right time. But Bane does have boots. Maybe also probably bring down the last hits. As you can see, Ewo and Tiny farming up very, very closely together, as this is going to be a Wisp relocate gank. Ewo is going to die super fast, not even going to bother using the clips, wants the maximum amount of beams to be popped, and knows that he probably wouldn't be able to pick up a kill on 3 heroes who are ganking him. Might be able to pick up a lucky Wisp kill, but rather save the ultimate. As that's going to be a bit unfortunate for GU, but so far GU have been roaming very, very effectively, as Navi only have a sentry ward up on that middle lane, so they're not going to see rotation around by Misko if he does decide to go for an engagement, as Puppy's tether is on cooldown, and Puppy's going to die. I don't know why he used the tether in that situation, but honestly it wouldn't matter because there were no creeps to tether to anyway. So Puppy is going to die, and really the wards by Navi not really spotting out. They know that GU are roaming, but the fact that they are not addressing that is pretty curious. But I guess they're just trying to secure as much farm for Vos as possible. They're going to sacrifice Dendi with the Ion Shell and the Thunderclap by the Panda. Can Dendi actually escape? 315, 365 move speed on the Gyrocopter allows him to escape. Panda does not want to sacrifice his life, even though he only has 5 less movement speed. Smash is going to get rocketed right in the face. Here comes rotation by ars-art. Naya level 6 does have 3 points in that brain sap and 1 point to stats. But the first tower of the game does go towards Gamer University Peru, and so far they're looking pretty sharp. Ewo has died once. Ewo did go for that Midas build as well, hopefully to keep up with the farm on Havos. Keep in mind, Luna can farm a lot faster than Tiny early on, but once Tiny picks up the Aghanims, Luna cannot hope to keep up, especially with the Wisp, who can relocate, get Tiny back into the battle at ASAP. The increased attack speed, of course, is nothing to sneeze at either, as Smash has just been on a rampage, just getting all these runes, haste runes, invisibility runes, left and right, easily able to claim the life of Dendi, who has not had too good of a time. Boots and a Wraith Band, this is not what Dendi is accustomed to doing, but May's a bit rusty after being on vacation, and it's going to be a double teleport top. Puppy's going to take a significant amount of damage. Havos trying to go as far away as possible, so that Puppy has a longer range to tether to. Keep in mind, tether does have 1800 cast range, but it does break if the units get 900 range apart, as it is going to break right now. But GU not going to pursue it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, looks like Light of Heaven going to find himself in a terrible position, as he is going to die. Not going to use an Eclipse. Call down's going to be used by Dendi. Here comes the teleport in by the Wisp and Havos, and that lack of Eclipse might have sealed the fate on those two heroes. They were not anticipating the teleport in, and they really didn't have any time to react to it once the reverse polarity was casted. So nice recovery by Navi, but they are going to lose another tower in that exchange. Can they pick up this tower? I'm not too sure they can. I think GU can potentially reinforce it, and Vos is off of cooldown, so actually losing a bit of gold, but does not want to have to go all the way to the jungle to pick up a creep. As Vos going to take significant damage from the tower, and keep in mind, Smash already has the dagger he just picked up, and there's going to be a double teleport. As Dire do pick up the tower, they're going to sacrifice Vos for that tower. I'm not too sure if that was overall worth it, but at least they got a tower, and I think what Navi really wants is some map control, and getting that tower is a significant start. But since a lot of GU heroes did teleport to the bottom lane, this tower is a lot of trouble for Navi. So does Navi the appropriate defense in place? Gyrocopter does have the ultimate, but no reverse up for about 50 seconds on Light of Heaven. Meanwhile, Smash, he managed to pick up a fast level, and it's going to be super huge, but as it is, he's going to pop in with that blink dagger, immediately kill off ars-art, going to Cyclone Puppy into the air, trying to get in position. Dendi is to get off that tether, and you can see the Panda Illusions trying to drive away Dendi, but still, the range on tether just too far. But nice bowler toss, call down is going to be used, and that does mean Panda just manages to go back into the melee form just in time, as Luna does pick off a tower. Here comes Vos, going to pick off Smash, going to lose a lot of gold in that exchange. Can Smash actually escape? He's going to get stunned, and Vos should pick up the last hit. He does do so. Misko does get picked off by Dendi, So a slight overextension by GU is going to cost him their lives, but Eclipse is going to use it, Puppey is going to die, and Havos, can he actually pick up the kill? Nice stun by Leshrac, Misoku in the right place at the right time, as Life Heaven is forced to withdraw. Lucid Beam is going to fly and going to kill off Havos, as Iwo, can he escape? He is going to escape. Luna so fast, and I'm glad to see that Luna is not going for the drums, just going to try to pick up that BKB ASAP. Not going to help against Fiend's Grip or Reverse, but still, against Tiny's damage, against Wisp's stun, against Gyrocopter's magical damage, you really need BKB regardless. As so far, GU putting on a nice show, trying to take back Game 2 and force it to Game 3, because this is the lose bracket, keep in mind. So if GU loses this match, they're going home. Well, not home, because this is an online tournament. So they're already at home technically, but you guys know what I mean. And who knows, they might not be at home. Maybe GU somehow managed to fund a boot camp just for the defense 3, although I very, very much doubt that. As Misko gonna do some stacking for Luna, it looks like. Meow just checking out the items. Smash level 10, almost level 11, so he should have level 11 by the time that next ultimate does come up. Means stronger pandas, means increased duration, means shorter cooldown. Primal Split just gets more and more powerful as it gets leveled up, but one of the problems with Primal Split is that at the 30 to 35 minute mark, especially against a Tiny, you can pretty much just one-shot those Panda Illusions if he's not stunned in place. They do become a lot less effective. Meanwhile, Dendi has managed to pick himself up some treads, Light Heaven very far away from any sort of dagger. This is going to be a gank attempt on the top lane, but nice recognition by Mihawk. It means that he can escape with ease. Gonna go for the mecha, about 300 gold short, and looks like GU gonna try to get a push going. They know how they have a pretty solid advantage. They don't want to take it to the late game against a Tiny, and I can't really say I blame them. Tiny's super scary in the late game. You know, how far is Savos from his Aghanim's? Very far. Dang. Very insightful analysis brought to you by none other than B-Ball himself. As GU gonna probably defend this tower, it should be okay, as there are 2 heroes bottom, but they might just lose the top tower. I think they can't really defend this unless they want to give it the bottom tier 2, which is actually more important in terms of Roshan control. This top tier 1 doesn't really mean too much other than a nice bounty of gold for the Radiant, or for the Dire to pick up against the Radiant. And I'd really like Smash to pick up that level 11 before he jumps in with that Primal Split. But he might have no choice, because there might be a fight breaking out very, very soon. Dendi wants this tower. He does smell blood. Although towers do not bleed, unless this was Dota 1, which I guess they can bleed sap, because this would be a tree tower. But whatever. Screw Night Elves. Play Undead forever. Because I'm too bad. Undead requires least amount of micro for bad people like me. Although I'm sure at higher level skills Undead requires a lot more micro. Anyway, that's Warcraft 3. You guys probably don't want to hear too much about my failings as a Warcraft 3 player. But anyway, screw trees. Screw Night Elf. Screw Demon Hunters. Miyamosoku has managed to hit level 8. Going for support capacity, and looks like Rubik is playing the 4 because Rubik does have upgraded boots. Meanwhile, Leshrac does not, just going to get a lot more wards. I think Leshrac would benefit from a bit more farm rather than a Rubik. Rubik really just wants a 4-stab. Meanwhile, Leshrac could use a BKB. I mean, idealistically, wants a Bloodstone, BKB, Shivas, you know, all those great items. But realistically, we'll never get the chance. But still, a fast BKB on Leshrac, even against Fiend's Grip and Reverse, could do wonders against a lot of the burst damage on the side of Navi. Keep in mind that even though Navi have a lot of ways to go through the BKB, even if BKB's up, those spells won't do damage, even if they do go through it with the stun duration, as it's going to be a tower trade. And Puppey's going to teleport back to the top lane. There's going to be a bunch of teleports back to defend the mid lane. Light of Heaven not yet at that Blink Dagger, so they're going to have to watch out the Skewer. And Mihawk, no levels into Wall. Darkseer is relatively under-leveled, but it is only 16 minutes in the game. And he won't have Wall up for a decent amount of time. Wall could be very, very crucial, especially against a farm Tiny, as Denny couldn't cast Rock at Ewo. And the Radiant are going to back off. Do the Dire one engage us? I don't think they do, but Smash might just force them to. Just going to blink in with that Iron Shell and Thunderclap. They're going to scare away Navi for a bit. But Smash actually at 3/4 HP. Ewo taking significant damage. Does have that BKB, but you should probably back off. Tranquils are on cooldown. Doesn't want a BKB at half HP. I don't think GU should try to take this fight. Unless they have an urn or something, or bottle to help heal up Iwo. I guess he's just gonna wait for Tranquils to go back up. He's regenning at a relatively healthy HP pace, but still, I'd rather get Luna going in with the full HP, because 800 HP with the BKB is still not the best. As Smash did somehow get stunned by the tether, as here comes the Scourge by Light of Heaven! Light of Heaven reverse too good as he stuns everybody, but Iwo's gonna pop the BKB and the Eclipse. Panda Spirits were still summoned as Tiny's gonna get set up here. Dendy's gonna die. Light of Heaven died as well as Havos is gonna get chain stunned to death. Can he escape? Tiny's so tanked, but Tiny's gonna get the task on. He is gonna get relocated at the last instant by Puppy. What a play by Puppy! And that could be a huge turnaround for Navi, as this is gonna clean up the kill. Is Wisp and Tiny gonna get back in time? No, they are not. So overall, that did favor GU by a decent amount. Got one more kill, and it cost them a BK usage, but they didn't lose their carry. Meanwhile, Navi lost 2 of their 3 primary farmers. And Panda is now level 12. But at the very least, Navi did get a tower deny, so GU unable to accomplish everything, and they won't be able to fight until Eclipse is back online. You can see, even though Navi losing these fights, they are still very, very tanky in terms of HP, and even though Light of Heaven did get a 3-man reverse, Navi did still lose that fight. But Vos finally has the Aghanim Scepter. I don't know if he had it in the last fight, but he has it now, and these towers are just going to absolutely melt to the Wisp and Tiny combination. And actually, Puppy picked up the last hit, interestingly enough. But now Wisp and Tiny can pretty much farm anywhere they want on the map and always be back for a fight. And now, the range should be a bit worried. Are they going to push in? I'd really like the range to pick up a level into wall. They do have a level into wall at level 9. I like this choice. 15 seconds of wall. If you get somebody like a Tiny with that 15 seconds of illusion damage, it could be pretty significant. But still, Navi not in too bad a position. Light of Heaven not yet with that Blink Dagger, but the ramp does force the GU to clump up. But now that the racks have been exposed, GU can afford to spread out a little bit more. But keep in mind, the Burst Polarity AoE is deceptively large. Manages to hit like this whole map right there. That's what it seems like whenever somebody's playing against a Magnetar. Either it hits everybody or it hits one person or nothing. Actually, I've never really seen a reverse only hit, or seen a reverse hit and nothing. Usually they always manage to get at least one, unless they absolutely fail. Actually, I've seen one whiffed reverse. As GU is going to smoke up. Navi sense something's up. I wonder if GU smoked up in vision of that ward. But now we're going to play it super carefully. Interesting that GU is going to actually attempt the top barracks. Maybe they feel like they have a bit more freedom, so they can approach the fight from 3 angles, rather than being in a nice clumped up area where Navi can get a nice reverse going. But still a little bit odd, and you can see Avos just content to farm up because Puppy is just going to be with them forever and ever. And here comes the initiating by Panda as he already pops his ultimate. ars-art is going to be the first one to die, going to Nightmare himself, going to delay the inevitable, but he is going to die. And Meow Light of Heaven is going to get caught out. He might die as well, going to get another 3-man skewer, going to get a whole team reverse. And here comes called out, unfortunately a little bit too late. Light of Heaven with the spectacular reverse polarities, but meanwhile, Havost and Puppy able to clean up the tier 3 tower on the bottom lane. And it's really curious that you actually went for the tier 2 on the top lane, as it's going to relocate back up top as the rocket is going to home in onto Iwo. Iwo, he does have BKB up, might be forced to pop it, waiting for the last instant. No, that might just cost him his life, as here comes Wisp teleport in. Nice toss by Havost, managed to toss the Wisp, getting the tether stun as well. And they're going to pick off Mihawk as well, as Navi capitalizing on GU's very slow retreat. I mean, sure, as Luna, you never want to use a BKB charge in a defensive situation, but Luna's going to be out of the picture for the next 35 seconds. That means more time for Vos to free farm, and might even mean a potential Roshan for Navi. And we'll check out the game, or the gold graph and experience graph. Radiant have a slight gold advantage, but I expect it to even out. Keep in mind, Radiant only have 1 tier 2 tower left to claim, and they did claim a tier 3, even though it did get denied. Meanwhile, Navi still yet to claim 3 outer towers. Experience graph slightly in favor of Dire, as they have been getting a couple more mid-game kills, and because Tiny is just farming at a super accelerated rate, able to clear creeps very, very quickly, especially in comparison to Luna, who can clear creeps very quickly with the Moonglaves, but still, the attack speed and the cleave of Tiny, very difficult for any carry to match up to. As Vo's gonna try to claim himself an Aegis. Puppy, interestingly enough, does not have an urn. Although he does have Soaring to give Havos all the mana he could possibly want. And Vo's gonna get a free Aegis. And that means he can skip getting BKB. Tinies don't usually like getting BKBs for the most part, because he does have very high strength growth. But, especially with the Aegis, he does not really have to fear getting BKB in this scenario. Meanwhile, Navi just exploiting GU at this point. They are not afraid to split up and farm. Meanwhile, GU farming up in a very, very clumped up area. They are afraid of the Wisp Tiny Gang, but still, I feel like they're farming a bit too clumped up. It might actually be time for GU to get a very, very aggressive gem just to get the D ward. At least that might give him a little bit of confidence so they can split up and farm and get a bit more experience. Because as it is, they're getting next to no experience. As Smash, only level 13. He was level 13 a while ago. Gonna go for that Aghanim Scepter, gonna give him a lot of duration on that ultimate. And GU, they're just gonna ram their heads against the wall, try to pick down the barracks. As Light of Heaven is gonna tee you back, he finally has that dagger. And does he honestly need a dagger? These reverse polarities have been on point. Unfortunately, not enough damage to back it up. But now that Havos is in the picture, it's gonna be very, very easy to get a lot of damage. As looks like Havos and Puppy just gonna push the bottom lane. And they know GU don't want to charge up recklessly against reverse, but they are gonna lose their barracks. Rain do have a glyph. But even if they do use a glyph, they're going to lose their barracks. And this is GU's chance. They have to strike right now. Edict is going to go off right now. As here comes Reverse, going to get 3 people. And here comes the teleport in by the Wisp Tiny, going to get the Skewer going. And here comes the Avalanche Toss. A giant cluster fight. But a nice vacuum wall by Mihawk. Turns the fight around for the Rain when it seemed lost. Havosa is going to respawn with the Aegis. Going to get Chainstone Death. Had a finished AC. He should have buyback. Going to kill off Mihawk with his last dying breath. And is going to buy back. As the Rain have yet to claim the barracks, and Havosa is going to be back in the picture. And Fiend's Grip is online. Ewo is going to get thrown in place. Ewo is going to die. Smash trying to sacrifice his life for the barracks, but he's going to die as well. And man, that vacuum wall. Another beautiful reverse polarity by Light of Heaven. As maybe you should call him Light of Heaven reverses. Caught 3 or 4. Wisp Tiny teleported in. But just the vacuum wall seemed like GU managed to overcome an impossible scenario. But unfortunately, GU stuck around a little bit too long. Once they saw the buyback, I guess they should have backed off. But as it is, they lost the bottom barracks essentially for nothing. Except for some hero kills. And Tiny's going to get more and more out of control. Has finished AC. We'll see what he goes for now. I don't imagine he'll go for Mask Madness because he already has the AC finished. Maybe something like straight up crit or Butterfly. Probably straight up crit. As Puppy pretty close to that mechanism ars-art with that Ogre Clip. Ars-art did a nice job always staying very far back. And keep in mind ars-art level 12, so I don't think I can't actually see if ars-art bought back. But I guess he just stayed back and then was able to get the Fiend's Grip off onto the Luna. As Zavos going to claim this tower for pretty much for free. And one of the downsides of playing with the Panda is that your ultimate, you rely on it so much because otherwise Panda not that strong of a hero, but the ultimate, such a long cooldown. As Denny's just going to Shadow Blade out of there, and that just means another burden for the GU supports to have to get. They have to get Dust. They do have sentries, but unfortunately Masoka was not in position. And GU might just be thrown out of the defense 3 by just overall the bad decision making by Navi. Keep in mind, Navi has yet to really utilize Dendi, but Dendi, after all is said and done, has finished up a BKB. And if you look at GU, there is nothing that goes through BKB on their side whatsoever, except from right clicks from the Luna. And Luna only with the Manta style. Really, because they've been so clumped up, GU has not really found the opportunity to farm up. And look at the wards by Navi have complete vision on anywhere that GU wants to approach. Dendi is going to initiate onto Mihawk that's going to teleport in by Wisp Tiny as Smash does have the ultimate online, but another beautiful reverse going to hold everybody on the side GU in place except for the spirits, as looks like Dendi going to get reversed to the ground, but Havos is just cleaning up everything with the giant tree trunk. Ewo's trying to do whatever he can, as now the images are going to start being a little bit annoying, but still, it's going to be 3 for 1. All they lost is a Dendi, and now ars-art is going to help clean up the kill on Smash. Tiny, one more right click, does claim the kill. and nothing Eo can do except just to watch as Smash does buy back, knowing that if he didn't buy back, it would probably most likely be another set of barracks. But still, GU losing a lot of momentum, 22-21, and I don't think necessarily GU are playing that bad. They just made some weird, not really weird decisions. They just had maybe just a bit of starstruck. Like, do we really want to push against Navi? Where you've been running into these awesome reverse polarities. And Navi taking advantage of GU's lapse in terms of judgment in these mid-game situations. And I think as GU gets more and more experience, they'll be able to sort of recover from this. But as it is, GU looking very, very far down. You can see 7.5 gold advantage for the Dire. Almost 14k experience advantage for the Dire. And it's not going to get any prettier, because Gyrocopter might actually start doing damage soon enough. Roshan is going to be up in about 4 minutes. GU, can they do anything to contest this next team fight? Wall is online very, very soon. Smash does not have the ultimate. Smash is actually going to get stunned in place, going to force to throw out a clap. Might have to blink away from the rocket as ars-art going to get the Nightmare off to Misoku. And this is not the right engagement. Misoku is going to take a call down right to the face, and a nice thwack of that mighty tree trunk, going to claim the life of the Leshrac. No buyback on that Leshrac, no ultimate up on the Panda. Is there a glyph up for the rain? They do have the glyph up. That might give them enough time to sort of delay the inevitable and allow Panda to at least get his ultimate online. But keep in mind, Tiny does increase damage to the towers. Look at these towers fall in absolute heartbeat. As here comes a vacuum wall, going to try to stall as long as possible. Smash does get another blink and clap. Ultimate will be back online very, very soon. Can GU actually hold out? But another reverse going to catch off Ewo and Smash, the two most important heroes on his side. GU, but Ewo does manage to pop BKB as Havos going to take so much damage. He might just end up dying. He is going to die. Havos buys back once again. Light of Heaven dies as well as Denny's going to be on treat. Denny dies, and Puppy's going to die as well. Where is Havos? He's farming on the top lane as that wall and the fact that they couldn't kill Luna. GU showing that they are not out of it just yet when I thought they were all but out, but they are showing they have a lot of fight left in them. They fought that fight without the Brewmaster ultimate. Gotta give them props. As they won't claim Wisp's life, but still. Got a nice team fight. Got a buyback from Host. Well, unfortunately, Luna's still far away from our next item. 11, 5, and 4, but just looking at our GPM. 600 GPM, respectable. Except it's Havos Tiny. It's not really just Havos, it's just Tiny with the Wisp. Able to farm so fast. Able to clean up towers, buildings very, very easily. But Vacuum Wall becoming a pretty big issue. Pipe is online, gonna stop a lot of the burst damage from Gyrocopter and the Tiny Avatar, so it won't stop Tiny's right clicks. But still, having a pipe is better than having no pipe. Any bit of resistance, any bit of defense, any bit of delay that GU can cause is going to help them out immensely. Especially since Luna is doing significantly more damage than I expected. As she is level 17. And this is going to be push in, and I don't know if Navi going to have to try to defend this. This is going to be initiation by Smash. Not yet going to use his ultimate, going to force out the Skewer by Light of Heaven. Light of Heaven does not yet have the reverse online. There is going to be Glyph. Can Navi defend the barracks? As GU going to try to take it to a game 3. Navi, Light of Heaven, blinks and going to get another 300 reverse as he's going to get stunned in place by the Rubik Telekinesis. Smash died before getting off the ultimate. As here comes Luna trying to do whatever he can. Another beautiful vacuum wall. Darkseer, will it be the bane of Navi yet again? And GU somehow taking that team fight against all odds. Wow. Was not expecting that in the slightest. My god. As the creeps saying, "Ew, get the heck out of here." But no buyback on Vos, and did Navi just... They did so many things right. Light of Heaven, 3-man reverse. Cast Shockwave so Rubik couldn't steal it. Did Rubik actually steal it? I don't think he did. Managed to burst down Smash before he could even cast his ultimate. But Luna and Darkseer, who always seems to be the thorn in the side of Navi in any version. And GU gonna claim 2 barracks off of this. They might actually have to back up. No, they're gonna claim 2 barracks off of this. As Vos is gonna be out of the picture. Light of Heaven is gonna be the only one to respawn at this point. And GU, wow, what a team fight. Was not expecting that whatsoever. And GU saying, "Who's Navi? We got these scrubs." And Host might have to consider getting a BKB, as Light of Heaven just gonna be a little bit too late. Wouldn't have anything to stun anyway. And Iwo, 6k gold in the bank, could probably pick up a full butterfly if she wanted to. I can't actually remember the total cost of butterfly because I'm a scrub. As there is going to be a pause. Let's check out the gold graph. It's going to swing back up. It's not even finished swinging. Experience graph is going to take a huge swing up. Levels. Light of Heaven struggling. Overall levels slightly in favor of Navi, Wisp and Bane very high leveled. But Pen is finally hit that level 16. Does he have Aghanims up? That is the real question. And it looks like he does not yet have the Ag up, so that's a bit unfortunate for the Brewmaster. But at least they're going to have access to Ultimate. The question is, can he actually get it off? As even without the Ultimate, they managed to claim 2 barracks. What will that mean if they manage to get the Ultimate off? As Vost again, without that BKB, the Vost is just sent up in the air for like 30 years. Then it could be a lot of trouble for Navi. As this game, very back and forth. As, I mean, Navi still have the Wisp Tiny. They could potentially backdoor it. Say, you know, 3D Max did against us. We can do it to you. But this wall, this vacuuming wall by the Darkseer. Man, if Darkseer ever finishes an Aghanims, I think Navi's going to be in a lot of trouble. But as it is, Darkseer going to be very far away. As Wisp is going to relocate back out. Look at how fast Tavos can clean the Aegis. As he's going to clean it up very, very quickly. And that is pretty significant. And he actually went for MKB. Anticipating the butterfly. Also, that Drunken Haze by the Brewmaster doing so much work to Tavos in these team fights. As even though Brewmaster died before that team fight really took shape, still very fearful of the Drunken Haze. So MKB, very, very solid, and will allow Tavos to really get his full damage going. But the question is, I mean, so far we've seen brilliant reverses and brilliant vacuum walls. But who's going to be the first one to choke? Will it be Light of Heaven or will it be Mihawk? As I think the first one to choke will decide the outcome of the game, unfortunate as it is. And, you know, Light of Heaven, considered by most, or considered by many, to be one of the best Western Dota 2 players in all of history. So I think experience is on his side, but Darkseer just so powerful as a hero. And the fact that wall has such a long duration, 45 seconds now at level 3, means that anything's possible. And Vos is just going to side switch it up, try to push down the middle, try to split push as much as possible. And what did Luna actually go for? Went for that butterfly, and the MKB going to be another counter as Drunken Haze means nothing to Vost. And that is going to force GU's hand very, very soon. It's going to be another wall going to suck Puppy and Vost back into it as Final Panda gets his ultimate off. But another reverse onto 3 heroes. These Light of Heaven reverses have just been top tier. And that might just very well end the game. Ewo going to get stunned in place. No buyback on Ewo. Got it craggy exteriored to death. And Light of Heaven. Gonna have to change that from Light of Heaven Shackle Shot to Light of Heaven Reverse. As these reverses have been... They're bringing a tear to my eye, guys. Bring a tear to my eyes. As, man, this wall doing so much work. Oh my god, wall is so annoying. But unfortunately, GU are gonna bow out of the defense 3. Light of Heaven. Too good at Dota. GG's are called. Well played game indeed. Back and forth. But unfortunately, reverse. Proving that it is still the best spell in the game. As it has just been too much for GU to overcome. But GU put up a valiant effort, ended the game 32-32, took off 2 racks from Navi. Definitely showed that they have what it takes to improve as a team. And hopefully they'll stick together and improve as the game goes on. Definitely representing South America very, very proudly, as they gave Navi a bit of a nail biter. But as it is, Navi showing that they can still take series, guys, even if they are in the losers bracket, even if they haven't been practicing lately. Took it 2-0, and they're going to move on. And they will fight the loser of Virtus Pro and Empire. And as always, thank you all for watching. Again, probably going to put out more content, hopefully different types of content. Hopefully I'll be able to livecast a bit more. All these hopefully things. But yeah. And also, maybe expect a vlog detailing more specific ideas that I have very, very soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Follow me on the stream, subscribe to me on YouTube, but I will see y'all next time. Peace.